what is still undoubtedly the most broken champion in the game in B1. And now let's see what AL will want to respond with. Junglers up and available. Vi has been pretty high priority, but you kind of have to take the Sivir away from it, you'd have to imagine, if you want that to be the case. Ryze actually has been banned a lot on red side, so looks like we're finally going to see this one come through. The first pick here and likely go into Harder's hands. Excited to see how this pick will do. Roa changes as well. We mentioned at the very start on top of the day. And so is Ksante. Oh my goodness, this is a really overloaded draft. So solo lanes looking pretty good for AL, and with Fiora off the table, there's no, perceived very hard counter to that Ksante available. But I've been playing a lot myself, and picks that I've come up to struggle against, definitely Gwen, something that we've also seen in the LPL already picked into it. Gangplank as well, also very, very powerful. And when you've got, a kind of teamfight composition like Sivir and Yuumi, expect to see that. But I want to see a little bit more engaged from the jungle role for Tian picked up here for Top Esports in their next rotation before we start looking at top lane picks. And that way you also potentially get AL to kind of have to pick and choose between what they want from their AD and support. If you go towards the jungle, you really do make AL pick on their R3.
Yeah, and Vi available as well. We've seen Vi as a priority. Actually, go with a Sejuani. So likely we're going to see melee solo lanes coming out here from Rookie and QingTian. We could see something like the Ksante in the mid lane for Rookie, or maybe something like the Silas to pair up well, or even the Akali that we saw earlier on today. We'll see where Rookie's going to go in that mid lane. But over to AL, they've got to lock something in, and it will be a jungle.
Yeah, I think if they go towards the maokai, don't be too surprised if they ban away that Ksante, to be honest with you. I think even though there's a lot of lockdown between that Ryze and the maokai, I don't really feel like after 6 they're going to have the consistent damage unless Rookie is already starting the engagement off with very low HP to actually take him down. He's going to be a little bit too mobile, and of course takes less damage to magic damage, Ksante. So if AL ban that one away, don't be too surprised. But I think trying to pattern down on those solo lane matchups is likely going to be the port of call. There's the Syndra, very, very powerful. We've already seen on this patch, even when it falls behind, it still feels like now it just has the ability to one-shot you if you're a squishy target, pretty much always, unless you are so far behind that it doesn't matter what champion you'd be on. As a Top Esports now, you anticipate we'll start to remove away some of the more aggressive options from Bay and SwordArt. There goes the Kalista. Lucian and Varus already gone. You could look at maybe something like a Caitlyn removal, but Sivir actually does pretty okay in that matchup 1-to-1. So I'm not sure what else they could maybe look towards. Maybe something like a Rel as an engage option to follow up, and that could be pretty good. Something that SwordArt is more than familiar with as well.
Yeah, we'll see if the Rel could come on through down in that bottom side, but the Silas taken off the board in the end. Ksante available if Rookie wants to go for it. We have already seen it in the LPL, and it has looked kind of terrifying, I'll be honest. Top Esports need to go for a ban. Could just get rid of another scaling AD carry, maybe. The Varus obviously already taken off of the board. Maybe something like the Caitlyn that, like you say, Sivir can do well as Caitlyn, but can still just have a lot of presence, right? But Alistair, interesting.
I mean, that's a pretty niche ban away. We don't see Alistair too often.
SwordArt looks perplexed. He's like, didn't expect that.
But spoke about aggressiveness out of Caitlyn. How about potential Samira as the hover was coming through? But yeah, I think even though Caitlyn might not inherently have, a super oppressive laning phase like she does in so many other AD carries, I think that could still be the option, though. I'm going through quite a few diverse choices. We're going to get Aphelios out of Bay, so I wonder what SwordArt's pick will be. Lulu's still up and available if they want it. It would leave them lacking on the engage front, but they definitely have very strong front line to back that up between Ksante and maokai. A lot of disposition, a lot of CC. As what will Top Esports take into this Ksante? Two very okay picks. I've played against the Olaf quite a few times. I'm going to be honest. It's going to be fun to see the matchup play out, but Ksante can definitely get the better end of that one. And we asked for melee mid laners. Rookie is playing with quite a few strong choices.
Remember, this is Rookie's first game on Top Esports here in the LPL. It's his first game in over 1,000 days alongside JackeyLove. What's he going to choose to make his debut? It's Azir in the mid lane in the end. We've got an Olaf in the top side, and then the Sivir for JackeyLove. It's an exciting draft, that is for sure. We'll see what SwordArt wants to pick up to finish this draft off.
I mean, It's either going to be more Engage or a Lulu. I don't think it's going to be that much more exciting, unfortunately. But I think SwordArt's choices are going to be pretty pivotal to how this one plays out. I think you go Lulu, just keep this Aphelios alive against the moving forward of QingTian and, of course, Tian on that Sejuani. I like it. It's always going to be providing a base level of survivability for Betty, which he's going to definitely need at some points here. Top Esports, pretty standard front to back with the Olaf slotted in to try and win that 1v1 in the top side against Ksante. Anyone's Legend, kind of a similar deal, to be fair. Very strong front to back on their end as well, with maokai, with Ryze, rather. Both are, forgive me. And of course, the Aphelios. I like what both teams have put together, to be entirely honest with you. I think team fights is where things are really going to get spicy. I think the lane interacting in team fights heavily, being a very big annoyance in those team fights, disrupting the back line, trying to find those Q3s consistently, and then once you find the opportunity, pop that all out, and it's either going to be offensively or defensively. Defensively to stop one of those divers on the enemy team from getting onto your backline, or offensively to try and assassinate the enemy carry if you have it in you. And definitely around that 2-item mark, kind of like level 13, 14, that's where Ksante really peaks in that lethality department. That's when he really has a lot of threat on to those squishier targets. But eventually he does fall off. He is not this all-powerful. He's not on. He doesn't do everything, right?
Yeah.
That's how I like to look at it. But he does provide a lot of threat, a lot of CC very early on, and a lot of damage, especially between sort of like level 6, 7 onwards to around level 13. That's when he starts to lose some of that threat, but still maintains a lot of the utility, mobility, and just flat-out annoyance that he can provide in team fights.
Well, we'll see if CDZ can be that annoyance against top esports. I will say, for anyone's Legend, I certainly have even more respect for ZDZ, who stepped out onto the stage, throwing out some poses and that, because, you know, top esports, even outside of just talking about how good the gameplay is, like, they're an extremely popular team. And now with Rookie joining the ranks as well, like, they didn't lose fans with that transfer. It feels like the crowd is very top esports favored right now. So AL, bit of pressure on their shoulders. It's got to be scary stepping into a giant room like that with just everyone cheering for the enemy team.
Yeah, it's I'm gonna make a very English comment here, Munch. It's got to be like stepping into Anfield as the away team. I know football fans from the UK, or football fans in general who know about Premier League, will get that reference quite heavily. It just feels like a nightmare. You don't want to deal with it. You don't have to deal with that very, you know, one-sided crowd.
Yeah.
But anyone's Legend definitely taking it in stride on those entrances, and we'll see if they can take it in stride in gameplay. Very slow start. Junglers starting on opposite ends, so they will end on the opposite side of each other. Tian will actually end up on the top side, so we'll see whether or not they can get some aggressiveness down onto ZDZ. We're starting to see a lot less flash and a lot more ghost taken on the Ksante, so you know, he has a lot of mobility and survivability through his kit, of course, and we'll talk about if we get to see it on screen, if he does survive a couple of ganks.
Yeah.
But definitely been the preference up there.
Yeah, we'll see if we get some interaction from the junglers with an Olaf Ksante lane. Surely we get to see a bit of jungle action up there. Surely we see a bit of aggression, right? There's so much follow-up available there. But Harder doing his best against Rookie in the mid lane, but Azir gonna have the range advantage to start this one off, and not to mention this Rookie, one of the greatest laners of all time. Although hasn't had that same level over the last year or so. I feel like he's had worse games. Harder taking a couple of hits. We're back away. But I'm hoping that this is the year for Rookie to like finally make it back to internationals. Yeah. Man, I'm so bored of Rookie not being at international tournaments. It's killing me.
It is killing me too, but I think it's just the nature of the LPL as well, because you have to remember, it's not like we've been, you know, short on mid lane talent at the international level either. But it's just about actually getting to see Rookie thrive and make it to that level once again, like he was on IG.
Back in his days on Evil Genius in the LCS.
Evil Geniuses in the LCS. So used to making it very far into national tournaments, NA, aren't they?
Moved over with LMQ and then switched teams. Like, what timeline are we talking about here? JackeyLove with a good spell shield there. Will keep himself alive. No summoners needed. Even drops a cheeky little thumbs up. And I just want to clarify a statement I made there as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not trying to say that Rookie's like had some really bad years or anything. He's still Rookie. He's still insane. I'm just saying, like compared to the years where he's dominating the world. He's had a quiet couple of years in the LPL, but I feel like you still see glimmers of just insane world best rookie. You still see it.
Always.
Maybe every other game instead of every game.
Exactly. I mean, look, he's been in the hyperbolic time chamber for a couple of years, and I feel like that one day into year may be over, and I think he's about to exit with top esports, and hopefully we'll get to see him return to the international stage yet again. We'll see how he deals with what could be potential. Nope. Right back around from Xiaohao. No aggression. Already blown. Oh, yeah. Flash from Harder earlier on, so Harder held on to that summoner spell. So very quiet. I don't expect too much to go on. Maybe once level 6 comes in for Rookie. And then Tian will look for some aggressive moves onto the mid laner of anyone's legend. But for now, very quiet lanes to be expected, right? It's Sivir, Yuumi, Lulu, Aphelios, Ryze, and Azir. And
top esports capitalizing on that, right?
Yeah.
Like having priority on the bottom side, going to go for a Drake. Like naturally, it's going to be slow lanes, but using the power that these slow lanes have at very least.
Yeah, I fear we might get a very low kill game, but once the team fights come online, there'll be a lot of explosiveness as Tian kind of forced off this one. Here's the number 6.
Harder just battered into Tian's head and then taken down by Rookie. Tian desperately trying to survive and will be able to do so. Xiaohao out of damage here. And now the heal comes on through. It's a double kill for Rookie. His first game on top esports and starting it in style.
Rookie starting off his TES debut as he would love to with that double kill on that skirmish. Real nice shuffle to kick things off. And unfortunately, Hada kind of just forced out of the fight. Eventually just drops in the end to another Sand Soldier. And there's not enough damage from Xiaohao on the Maokai to execute. As you see, goes in on top of Hada. Not good change to see. And actually, I didn't catch that in the live. It's predicted. Yeah, the W. Really nice stuff. As you can see, not enough damage. The Q does connect, but unfortunately, it's not enough. Even Mark shows up on the Yuumi just to heal up Tian, just in case. He gets himself a double kill to start off his year on TES.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really ask for more, can you? If you're Rookie, if you're a top esports fan at home, a 2-0 Azir to start that laning face off. This ain't getting any easier for Harder. As Rookie now should be in a position to dominate. Just look at the item difference. Like a Corrupting Potion, a Tier, and a Negatron Cape up against a Lost Chapter, a Doran's, and a Dark Seal. Like, Rookie just has such a ridiculous damage advantage.
With 4 stacks.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, that's a lot of damage to be up against in the very, very early stages. I think math starts me right. He's already up like 8-5 or something, which 7 minutes into the game is pretty high. So he's going to be definitely out trading Harder for the immediate future. Of course, Ryze, especially with the new changes to Roa being introduced back into the game. And of course, Archangel's going back to base mana, to AP. He scales quite heavily. And even if he does fall behind, the Roa will actually do a good job of catching him back up as well. That 10-minute passive now introduced as, there we go.
Days. Oh, but he ain't scaling nowhere. There will be no scaling in this mid lane. Rookie with a hat trick at 8 minutes into the game, and Tian happy to just sit around this mid lane and make sure it all just goes beautifully. Dragon Dragon wasn't taken actually in the end because they backed away, but now Herald will be the first target for them. The SwordArt takes a prowling projectile as well. Harder, that used the flash in the previous play. Now we'll just get punished time and time again.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was about to tail off your point with. Don't be surprised if they go and attack him one more time before his flash comes up, because Ryze is very susceptible to those shuffle ganks. And frankly, there's not really much you can do about it either, as Rookie's even going to poke his head in to Xiaohao taking this dragon. And he could just outright stop him. There's not really much he can do about it. Tien's on his way, but there is no smite available for Tian. However, if they just go on to Harder, it could work out.
Oh no, down in the bottom side as well. JackeyLove is trying to win out the fight.
Okay.
Here comes Harder into the bottom side.
Big.
Shrouds there flashing forward. JackeyLove in trouble. Taken down here. Does anyone's legend find themselves a kill?
But did they leash the dragon? They did.
Yeah.
So, you know, pros and cons for that play. I mean, sure, they pick up JackeyLove, but they gave up the objective they started. And TES, who have already got a bit of a tempo lead on the map, kind of just get everything they want. The only way that could have gone better is if somehow JackeyLove walked that one out. I think he'd already blown his summoner spells in this 2v2, which we're getting a look at here. Just flashing forward to try and lock down SwordArt, but too much survivability. Shield, wild growth, Q. If it maybe comes back and clips SwordArt in the back of the head, maybe they'll get that kill. Almost certainly, but yeah, Realm Walk brings Xiaohao into the fold. Flash forward, no spell shield available yet. JackeyLove and just drops.
Ultimately, I actually do like this play from Anyone's Legend. They essentially just acknowledged that they couldn't really contest the Drake once Tian and Rookie were there. So they just commit to a play on the bottom side and get a kill onto JackeyLove. Like, it's good decision making in the middle of a play to manage to turn that one around. So good stuff from AL to get something out of it. I will say though, we're 10 minutes in and they are 2,000 gold down. It's not the prettiest situation I've ever seen.
No, definitely isn't. And this is a lane we haven't really had much look at all, as all the action has been focused around Rookie and the bottom side of the map. But it seems like, at the very least, this Olaf pick is keeping Ksante at bay at a CS lead. So definitely doing its job inside the lane. We'll see what QingTian will be able to do in those team fights. He has a lot of CC to be able to walk through between the maokai and the Ryze, but of course he will get significantly squishier. And running into an Aphelios when he has those set up guns, even if he is quite far behind, it's still quite a scary prospect. So we'll see what he can do. If his job is simply beat up the top lane whilst this happens to the bot side, then he's definitely doing his job perfectly well right now as JackeyLove. All right, well,
3 tower shots he took or just 2? I'm not sure, but either way,
3.
Trying to reset it, didn't do it. Simple as that. And the play falls apart for top esports. I will say QingTian is absolutely vibing up there. The fact that he can just go for a Tiamat and just perma push in the top side because he knows that there has to be so much focus on this bottom side. So difficult for Xiaohao to play towards that top lane. Oh, did they get an extra play?
Yeah, I think they might have as the picture. All right, you know what? I'm on JackeyLove's side here. League of Legends, fix it. Because the angle he walked in the tower at, that minion should have been taking probably. But yeah, play fizzles out because of it. And I'm pretty sure Rookie will get the play now.
Yeah, 175 gold. Loves it. Absolutely loves it. He's 3-0. He's 10 CS up. He's got himself 3 plates in the mid lane, although he did share them with Tian. He is monstrous. Already finished the Leandries. You've got a Kraken Slayer on JackeyLove as well. Like, this team is already coming online.
He's doing much better than the last time I was able to take a look at Rookie firsthand, because when he was on the Azir, I can't remember what the build was, but I just remember it not dealing a lot of damage, but he's off to a good start with the Leandries.
Yeah, the Leandry's certainly gonna be a solid one. I feel like we see a lot of Crown on Azir, or certainly did last year. It was often the start of a 0 damage build.
It was like Crown. It was against Weibo. It was like Crown, Demonic Embrace.
It's like Banshees
and Morello or something. And it just wasn't good. But he's been doing some reading. And he's definitely doing a lot better in that department. And of course, being 3-0,
well,
shredding people very, very soon.
He's going to have to be doing reading if he wants to be top esports mid laner. And the previous mid laner was a big fan of books, specifically one book, the Medjai Soul Stealer, and you can see 6 stacks on the Dark Seal, ready for Rookie, looking to follow in Knight's footsteps potentially here on the Azir. And you love to see it. QingTian knows how much control he has of that top side. Is going to steal away the red buff from AL, and it does feel like slowly but surely top esports are just inching out this lead for themselves.
And QingTian on that top side, he kind of knows, right? He's never going to die 2v1 either.
Pings on wards on the bottom side.
Oh, yeah.
ZDZ has TP. I don't think they can commit.
14 just ticking over, so those teleports are now unleashed. So the option is actually there if they want it. I feel like we've lost that with the unleashed teleports. You don't see those bottom side TPs anymore.
No.
Which makes me very sad. I missed the big 5-man parties at bot, to be honest with you, in pro play.
Yeah, I do and I don't. I miss it in pro play.
Don't miss it in solo queue. Don't miss it in solo queue. Miss it in pro play though.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Second drag of the game here for Top Esports. No way this is contestable for anyone's legend. Ah, well. So far, so good. Slow and steady wins the race, I guess. Top Esports just absolutely cruising through this game. And I feel like every single year we go through this like emotional roller coaster of Top Esports feeling like they're playing a bit like last year. Top Esports felt like they weren't just going to go crazy every single game. It felt like they were going to play safer again until we got to playoffs. And then the shenanigans came out once again. JackeyLove was JackeyLove once again. And we saw them kind of flub at the end of the year. And one day I pray that we'll see a Top Esports that plays like correct League of Legends and plays to their potential, because man, I'm so tired of seeing them almost be great.
I mean, hopefully though, that's what Rookie brings to the lineup, right? That level of consistency and a little bit of extra discipline, reining his brother in on the bottom side from time to time. Definitely feels like he needs it.
QingTian is the second jungler.
Let's be honest. Who's gonna stop him?
Yeah.
Right now, like, you send up Harder, you send up Xiaohao. He probably kills one person before he dies. Is that Ravenous Hydra build?
Yeah. I mean, so, he's a monster. He's an absolute monster. He's 20 CS up in the top side. He's got a Rift Herald to work with. He can just slam against that tower. I mean, it's terrifying. It really is. And the thing is, like, part of me, as a good caster, part of me wants to go, I mean, good as in, like, well-behaved. Part of me wants to go, what are the win conditions here for AL? But it's hard to think about win conditions when you're just losing all 3 lanes, and slowly but surely Top Esports are just tightening their grip on the game, you know?
I have the win condition. It's Top Esports forget that they're playing against Ryze and Aphelios. Walk into a choke, get 5-man overload cube by a 2-item Ryze, and Betty has Infernamar. Other than that, I think Top are in a pretty good position, to be honest. So
copy that.
We'll see. We're bordering pretty miracle level stuff. ZBZ will probably be able to walk this gank out, but the Herald will charge again.
Yeah, it's not pretty that we're in miracle territory already. QingTian and Tian here, double Tian duo. As the Herald does get the charge, as you mentioned. It will be a tier 1 taken in the bottom side for AL. Silver linings there. But unfortunately, that is all they will find for themselves. 2 minutes till that next Drake, and you know the Top Esports are going to want to stack him.
Yeah, definitely. The Kemsol as well on the table. It's definitely the weakest soul in the game right now. But it's kind of an awkward one to balance, because it's Harder's in trouble again. The root comes on out, but the Maokai ultimate will dissuade the dive, and Harder will survive for the time being. His Rod of Ages is officially finished as well. You can see 1 stack there in his inventory. So he'll get that stacked up 9 minutes. So he's got to wait. He'll get that extra level. But yeah, Kemsol, it's not that high value simply because it's a soul that benefits from you being lower in HP, but if you're ahead, yeah. So
good for Ksante.
Great for Ksante, but got some bad news. Ksante is not on Top Esports' draft, so
exactly. This is the win condition. We figured it out. You're just gonna get 4 drakes back to back for Ksante. I will say it's kind of funny to talk about Kemsol being the weakest soul in the game after the state of Chemtech Dragon the first time around. Yeah, it's a different game now. It's a different game entirely. And also the buffed up plants. Don't forget the Scry's blooms in every direction.
The Rift is the best part about the new Chem Tech Soul and Rift. Just all the hilariousness of some of the plants, specifically the new Blast Cone.
Yeah.
Just launching you to the stratosphere.
Flying half. I like standing right on the middle of it and just going up and down, seeing if I can high-five my champion.
Do you remember the days where that bug would exist with like certain knockups and dashes? Where it's like you would dash, you get hit by a knockup, and you just go to the moon. And you wouldn't be able to
Tristana was the worst for it, but Jax as well. Jax's Leap Strike always did it. Yeah. I actually think that might be why Top Esports banned Alistair. Just in case. Just in case.
Just in case the pulverized sent JackeyLove to the moon.
For 3 years, yeah. Well, TP comes out from ZDZ in the mid lane. Trying to hold on to this tower, trying to find priority because Drake is spawning. We might just have 5v5 on our hands here, Jamada, as the root's going to come out from Xiaohao. Top Esports back away for now. Tian the target, but he's tanky. More than willing to play for this one. ZDC on the front line trying to escape. Xiaohao chased down. As look at QingTian just wailing on harder in the back line. Ksante falls, and QingTian ain't stopping anytime soon. He's got a kitty on his shoulder, but Betty turning it around, finds the ultimate. Can he find the Q? Chased down by Rookie instead. He can't find a kill when he's found a death instead.
Oh, QingTian was just so powerful with the Yuumi on his back, running everyone down, and Rookie crowns off the plate with a real nice flash shuffle on to anyone's legend, and now that's the tier 1 going down. They'll pick up that dragon, and I think that might have just been the signing off note for AL about this game likely being over. And the engage from Xiaohao, it's nice to try and get all of Top Esports out of the river. The issue is all of it hits Tian, and at that point the turnaround comes through. Even though Ksante is quite tanky, look at the Olaf. He is absolutely one-shotting Xiaohao, one-shotting harder, and ZDZ's left to the wayside. And this is what I was talking about, you know, running into an Aphelios with prime guns, not ideal, but still very much tanky enough. And Betty briefly overcommits, but that's all the window that man like Rookie needs to lock down Betty.
Oh yeah. You only get to make that mistake once in a team fight against Rookie, and he will punish you. I just love the way that Top Esports approach that. They're like, okay, QingTian, you 1v4 them, and we'll 4v1 ZDZ.
Yes.
Like, that's how we're going to split this one up. Obviously not quite 1v4, did have Mark on his shoulder, but
that's the trade deal, Munch.
Just look at the damage. Look at the damage that he did. It's insane.
Yep. I mean, maybe the one good Olaf pick I won't ever doubt is right here in this spot. To be completely honest with you, it's kind of monstering the AL lineup, and I think early Baron definitely on the cards, by the way. So I say it whilst they're right in front of the big purple worm. We'll see how Top Esports feel about accelerating the pace of this game. For now, it just looks like a little bit of control around the mid lane, the river, just shoving in those waves and slowly but surely suffocating AL out, so they feel like they have the opportunity to get that one started.
Yeah, Xiaohao trying to maintain control with these saplings. One thing I will say, Top Esports have been doing a very good job of just clearing saplings, consistently going towards brushes and either dashing away or it's Mark on the Yuumi to zip to a teammate. They are not letting Xiaohao set up any presence in the jungle, and now Tian just says, sod it. We'll just start the Baron off. Why not? We've got a Sivir, we've got an Azir. I mean, Azir with Leandris, with a second item as well. He'll just melt through this Baron, and SwordArt knows he has to check. Gets a ward in, 4k, here we go, Xiaohao. Won't get the opportunity of a smite steal because Top Esports back away.
Yeah, and there's the re-engage. SwordArt flashed it.
Yeah, it's on cooldown. It was, oh wait, no, it wasn't on cooldown. It was, either way. There's the pick. There's another opportunity for Top Esports. They can just rinse and repeat.
Yep, they can. I mean, no flash, no ultimate now from Xiaohao. Flash comes up very shortly, but they're just looking for the pick, the blast cone.
Yeah, thank God for the blast cone.
Yeah.
Or
the
boom rift. Cone.
The boom cone, as it were. Any other rift, and that is it. Maokai, because that shuffle would have come in from Rookie, no doubt. But with all of that pressure, it's like AL are going to concede. They know they can't contest anymore. Happy Baron going over to TES. You should suspect they will, at the bare minimum, take down all of the inner towers on the map.
Yeah.
QingTian is very, very powerful.
I was going to say, you thought QingTian was hard to kill before. Well, he's got Jack Shoulder Warden's mail now. He is absolutely monstrous. Look at the CS lead he has. Like, he is absolutely decimating ZDZ in the side lane.
Yeah. Definitely enjoying how he's piloted this one, and I think just the pure isolation of it and how his champion's going to work right now at the peak of mid game to anyone's legend is just so powerful, and Yuumi buffing up the scaling of that champ even further. He picks up their Enderwinds. He knows he's IMizing purely to not get one shot by Betty. That's the only thing he has to worry about.
What do you do? Listen, I feel like AL are Theoden at the gates of Helm's Deep, looking at the army of Urukai. What can man do against such reckless Olaf? Like, it's just not possible. He's just going to sprint it in, and there's nothing you can do about it. There is no peeling an Olaf. Harder takes a chunk. There's the Sun Disc in the mid lane. With the Baron, Top Esports can just slowly but surely push this one in. And with a Sivir, you know that the siege can stay all day long. And even the sustain from the Yuumi. I mean, this is just a perfect situation for Top Esports.
Yeah, and there's not really any poke available to AL to stop this from happening. There's no long-range wave clear to try and shut down the Baron cannon as well. So that's going to tick at it slowly. Xiaohao's going to pop the armor to give themselves a brief window.
Yeah, are they really willing to dive? I don't think so.
No.
Top Esports might be, though, as they start to charge on it. Tower goes down. ZDZ trying to block for his team. Stunned up, though, and taken down. There goes Xiaohao. A great little shuffle onto SwordArt as well. And that might just be game. Top Esports decimating anyone's legend. What a way to enter the league here. And Rookie having a phenomenal debut game here on Top Esports. ZDZ goes in for one last ditch effort, but that's all it will be. ZDZ actually gets onto Fountain somehow, and they're out of minions. Top Esports, okay, there's another wave. They will be able to finish this game by the looks of things. 8 seconds on SwordArt. That's game number 1 in the books. Top Esports starting as they mean to go on, and Rookie having a hell of a debut.
As clinical as you'd like from Top Esports entering the year. Dropping only a game and a dropping a kill and a tower. All they dropped in this one.
Yeah.
Anyone's legend, not a foot in the door from the beginning.
Yeah, I'm thinking CDZ may have a little less